everyone. So today I have actually been planning this for a while. I've actually wanted to not just like try a recipe that's tried and true that I know I like. I actually want to experiment with a recipe on Facebook Live today. So what I'm going to actually work on is like a homemade granola. I love granola, and now that I'm eating carbs again, it's kind of exciting to be able to snack on it again because it's one of my favorite go-to snacks. Except one thing that really turns me off is that when I go to the grocery store, granola is so expensive. And I know why, I get it. It's because like nuts are expensive. So, I mean, for instance, in order to make, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. In order to make this, I went and picked this up, and this was like several dollars. I can't remember the exact price now. So, I mean, like, buying nuts, okay, I had the rest of the stuff at home already. This was actually, and besides resupplying honey, which was only a few dollars, these were the only things I actually had to pick up to make this recipe. Everything else I just had laying around at home. And some things I'm looking to use up, like the rest of this honey, because I'm going to use a little bit more of this in the recipe. So I took a look at about 5 different recipes, kind of took what I wanted from each. I actually scrapped the Rice Krispie cereal. I actually just wanted oats instead. Higher fiber, less processed goods going into it. And we're going to try this. And I have like proportions all made out and stuff, and I will definitely post the recipe that I end up using in the comments. And we're going to see how this goes, okay? So I'm going to start with the dry ingredients first. And hi, there's a cat. He says hi. Alright, he doesn't belong up here. Great, thanks. I gotta wash my hands again now. Alright. Cats, that's one of our fosters. His name is Alan. The vet named him, we didn't. Okay, so, alright, so I'm going to start with the dry ingredients. We're going to go with, of course now I can't open it. You know what? My videos always have some sort of comedic error in them. Can't open the package because my hands are wet because I was chasing after a cat, of course. Okay, starting with the almonds. This is a 1 2/3 of a cup package. I'm actually just going to put the whole thing in. I like the bigger almond chunks. I didn't want to go with the little slivered ones or chopped. I went with the chopped walnuts though. I love walnuts, and walnuts don't always go in granola, but they're going in my granola because I like them. This is just over a half a cup. I had a container sitting there, and I was like, I'm not going to eat these. I'll just chop them up and put them in. Alright, that's all set. Oh, and right now I have my oven preset to 325. It's good to actually cook it over a slightly lower temperature than like 350. Alright, for the oats, I am actually going to put in, I think we'll go with a half a cup. I don't want a whole ton, but I definitely want enough. If it seems like I need more dry ingredient by the time I'm done, I'm going to add more oats to this. So I'm starting a little bit small. So we'll take a look at this together and see what we need. Okay, for extra fiber, I'm actually going to be putting in some chia seeds. Alright, and for this I'm going to be putting in 3 tablespoons. Actually, there's a thing in there already. 1, 2, and 3. That to me seems sufficient. We are going to go with that. Okay. That up. Hold back here. Okay. Coconut. If you're not a big coconut fan, this ingredient does not have to go in here. See, that's the cool thing about making your own granola. You get to choose what goes in it. And it seems like the general consensus for most recipes is it should be about a half a cup. And this is unsweetened coconut. Yeah, that seems about right. No, I would say you are not jumping up here, you crazy kitten. Okay. So that's unsweetened coconut flakes, about a half a cup. Back there. Okay, these are all wet ingredients. Okay. And then that ground flaxmeal that I had in my last recipe, I'm going to put a little bit of that in there too. It's a binding agent, so it's going to help things hold together. So for the flaxmeal, 1 tablespoon. There we go. That can go in there. Okay. Hopefully it does a good job of blocking any cats from jumping up and getting in the camera. And I want to close and play around with that later. Okay, next, some spices. So for this, we're going to go with, they're saying a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I don't think I like that idea. I think I'm going to be getting enough flavor from other things that I don't really need a whole lot of salt to draw too much more flavor out. So I'm going to go with a heaping 1/8 of a teaspoon. Alright, and then I love like apple pie spice. So some of the recipes definitely encouraged using like cinnamon. I saw one that had nutmeg. I saw another yet that had cardamom. I like using all three together in various different recipes. So we're gonna go with 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I thought it was a tablespoon. 2 teaspoons. My oven looks like it's ready. 1, 2. Okay. And then I'm gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of cardamom and nutmeg. Again, these are like if you want. I like going a little heavier on flavor enhancing spices, so to me this sounds like a delicious plan. Okay, so I got 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg and 1/2 teaspoon of cardamom. I'm not rinsing off in between because, like I said, I usually use all these spices together, so I don't really care. Alright, get in there. These can go off to the side. I'm just going to go through my list one more time just to make sure I got everything. I feel like I've missed something. Okay, I got coconut, got almonds and walnuts, got chia seeds, got flaxmeal, cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom. Oh, okay, I have 2 tablespoons of a sugar substitute. Okay, so I was actually thinking of putting in like the stevia erythritol mix that I have. I actually am not going to be doing that. I wanted to add a little bit more liquid into it. I'm actually going to be putting in my unsweetened vanilla syrup instead. Because I also saw in some recipes you could add vanilla, and I was like, you know, I have this is probably going to be good. And I think it's going to be sweet enough, so, because I'm going to be adding like maple syrup and honey and stuff. I don't think I need anything else that's sugary in there, but it is another option. Say if you didn't like the taste of honey, but yet you thought it needed to be sweeter, sugar could work. Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking. And salt and oats. Okay, cool. All right, so what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna stir all of the dry ingredients. Like a lot of good baking recipes, it's always good to mix all of the dry together first, and then mix all the wet together. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Okay, now for the wet ingredients, I'm just gonna use a bowl, just a regular one of these bowls, nothing fancy. Okay, so this is where things are going to get a little bit interesting. Okay, so they are recommending that you use like an oil and then like a syrup type of thing. So I am going to use peanut oil because I like the nutty type of flavor. This is a 1/4 cup. I had it measured out already. And of course the cat, when he jumped up, he bumped into it, so like now I got a little tiny mess to clean up. No biggie. Okay, now I have a 1/4 cup of syrup and honey together. Actually, yeah, I'm going to want that. Okay. And actually, the little residue of oil in there might make that a little easier to come out, so we'll find out. Okay, so I'm going to take the rest of this honey. Let's see if it actually comes out. Actually, we're going to try undoing this. I want to use it up. Because it's going to be cold season soon. That's why I bought the new stuff. Okay. This is working. Okay. Actually didn't expect that. I thought it was going to stay in there. It'd be really weird to work with. It is weird to work with. I hate working with honey. I do like it as an ingredient, but maybe it's just because I really hate being sticky. I don't know. Gotta think about that. Okay. Put that there. Okay. And then they say that you should use maple syrup. Well, I got my calorie-free maple syrup, and I like the taste. I love the consistency of it even more, because part of what it's adding is that stickier consistency to get everything to bind together. So, I'm going to, actually I'm going to move the dry out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, so, I'll put that in there. because I do have more, so that'll be okay. Okay, so all put together, that's going to be about 1/4 cup, and that's fine because I think I'm actually a little heavy on the wet ingredients. I was kind of saying that earlier, that if I thought it needed more dry ingredients, like if it was not making the consistency I would want, I would add more oats. And actually, I did a good job with that because it looks like it's all, you gotta see this is cool, it's all coming out. Didn't even need like a spatula or a spoon to get that out. That was a good plan. Okay, a little bit of syrup left, I'll refrigerate that later. Okay, now, I was saying I like the consistency of the maple syrup. I love maple flavor though, so I'm going to add a little bit more of it. So I'm going to add some maple extract, just a little dash because this stuff is really strong. So just like a few drops. There we go, that's going to be just fine. That probably equated to about 1/8 of a teaspoon. Okay, and I don't need this honey, so that can go aside. Alrighty, and then I've got my vanilla syrup. I'm going to go with a tablespoon. This should be sufficient. Okay, let me just go through my stuff again here. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, all good to go here. Okay, actually I'm going to use a fork to blend this all together. Okay. Hopefully it emulsifies together nicely. Smells really good. Put it in. And actually, the oil is making it come out of the bowl pretty well again. I may, again, not need a spatula for this, but I might. Good to the last drop. Let's see how it goes. Okay, and I'm just going to mix this all together so that it forms clumps. I think it's important in this case to have smaller particles for your dry ingredients and large particles together. I believe that will help it bind really, really well. Actually, I really like how this is turning out. It smells amazing. Okay. Cats. Sheesh. Okay, so this is what I'm getting. Okay. It's wet and dry together. I think he's playing with an egg carton. Same cat. Alrighty, that looks really good. It's definitely loose clumps. Now, is it too wet? Maybe a little bit. You know what? I'm gonna put just a little extra shake of the oats. So, okay, so just looking at that, maybe I'll add in something that would equate to like 1/4 cup again. So, gotta screw, this is worth 1/4 cup. Okay, so I put in 1/2 cup before. I guess we'll go with 3/4 of a cup of oats. I think that will make it perfect. It's close, it is, but maybe I'm just being particular. We'll mix that in there. Oh yeah, I like that better. Okay. I didn't get this part set up because of space, but we're going to get a cookie sheet ready with some parchment paper on it. So I'm going to go grab that real quick. You can take a look at the mixture while I grab those things. Hello. Okay, hello again. Okay. Cookie sheet. I'd imagine wax paper would probably work just as well. Okay, and then we're just going to spread it out on here. Okay, now you're supposed to cook this for 15 to 20 minutes. That's fine. But obviously, in order to cook it evenly, a couple things got to happen. Number one, you want to make sure that halfway through you end up taking like a turner, like a metal turner, and like mixing it around so that everything kind of flips, so that both sides are cooked evenly, or sort of evenly at least. Okay, and you want to make sure that this is spread out. It made actually quite a bit. One of the reasons that I like this idea is that, of making my own, is that if it's stored in an airtight container, it's actually not going to go stale for a few months. And if you freeze it, even longer. Not sure if I'll freeze it yet. I'll probably end up eating it. But, I mean, at least it's like shelf stable, even when you're done, so that's great. So I'm just evening this out. Not really trying to flatten it too much. It's going to end up breaking up, which is fine. I mean, it's granola. It's supposed to be crumbly. Okay. Yay for healthy snacking. This looks amazing. It smells good. Well, I'll try a little bit. Not even unbaked. Let's see. The spices and the extra maple really do it. It's good. Okay, let's put it in the oven. And I'm going to set it for about 12 minutes. I'm going to start with the 12 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to bake it for another 10 minutes. We'll start with that and see how it goes. So I'll post the verdict then up in the comments, and hopefully everything will be good. Alright, have at it. Okay, so let's see how it turns out. I'll see you soon.